So one signal alive, green lines running side by side, visor clear, horizon wide, new coordinates align. Cabin air circulates through narrow silver vents beside the wall. Status panels flicker softly underneath the morning protocol. Oxygen numbers hold their place across the tempered glass display. Battery percentages remain within projected operating range. Dust settles lightly near the edges of the insulated metal floor. Thermal blankets folded neatly by the reinforced storage door. Outside the habitat, the silent plains extend beyond the frame. Scattered iron formations glowing softly, copper gray. Helmet seals connect in sequence with the measured locking tone. Gloves arranged beside the console near the docking zone. Checklist covering the surface marked in careful graphite lines. Antenna angles set precisely toward the orbital design. Water tanks remain secured beneath the reinforced storage rack. Map coordinates blinking steadily across the navigation track. One clear route across the screen, one more cycle ready to begin. So one signal alive, green lines running side by side, visor clear, horizon wide, new coordinates align. So one steady control, numbers moving row by row. Airlock opens on the cue, every reading coming through. Compressed air releases slowly through the narrow chamber seal. Fine red particles drifting underneath the carbon wheel. Distance marker standing evenly near the outer loading bay. Solar panels angled carefully to gather light across the plane. Storage cases resting quietly by the reinforced chamber wall. Thin blue cables crossing softly underneath the metal floor. Every surface carries traces of the long mechanical routine. Every object resting where the diagram lines connect. Static pulses travel briefly through the headset near the ear. Navigation arrows organize across the visor interface. Surface pressure holding stable while the outer engines cool. Transit paths extending further past the ridge beyond the dune. Storage counts adjusted upward on the central monitor screen. New projected operating days inserted into the system feed. Coordinates updating, repeating sets of moving decimal streams. Calibration markers shifting slowly through the overhead machine. Oxygen filters cycle evenly beneath the chamber light. Sealed containers resting quietly in parallel silver lines. Outside the dust continues tracing patterns through the open land. Inside the cabin every process answers back on command. Measured sequences synchronize across the active console frame. Each solve variable extending operational range. Saw one signal alive, green lines running side by side, visor clear, horizon wide, new coordinates align. Saw one steady control, Storage bins and lotion rows beside the insulated supply wall. Ration packets sorted carefully underneath the marker board. Calendar squares filled gradually with narrow graphite counting lines. Projected usage estimates shifting on the monitor design. Sealed containers labeled clearly near the center loading rack. Water levels marked precisely on the transparent measurement glass. Small repair components organized inside divided metal trays. Solar intake figures updating through the station feed. One more entry on the page, another cycle set in place. Count the days, mark the line, numbers stacking over time. Every column running clean, steady patterns on the screen. Count the days, check the flow, resources shifting in control. Every figure holds its place, mapped across the storage space. Vacuum packets resting evenly in temperature control drawers. Oxygen reserve calculations scrolling softly near the floor. Thin red markers crossing slowly through the printed timeline chart. Backup circuits standing ready near the emergency compartment lock. Inventory sheets connected underneath transparent plastic clips. Sample codes repeating quietly across the data strips. Measured portions placed exactly where the schedule lines agree. Projected transit windows forming on the orbital feed. Every total verified, every section categorized. Count the days, mark the line, numbers stacking over time. Every column running clean, steady patterns on the screen. Count the days, check the flow, resources shifting in control. Every figure holds its place, mapped across the storage space. Decimal reading shifting slowly through the active monitor frame. Storage estimates balancing against the projected energy gain. Sealed nutrition packets stacked in parallel silver lines. Maintenance records organized underneath the docking signs. Calculated intervals extending through the upcoming operational phase. Map sequences connecting and repeating measured waves. Outside the silent planes remain beyond the pressure glass. Inside the station, every process holds its task. Count the days, mark the line, numbers stacking over time. Every column running clean, steady patterns on the screen. Count the days, check the flow, resources shifting in control. Every figure holds its place. Projected routes begin to grow. Additional operating zones. Calendar sections filling fast. Another measured cycle past. Graphite lines across the page. Inventory lights remain. Additional entries waiting ahead. Quiet systems softly hum. Pressure seals engage softly through the outer chamber door. Helmet display indicators stabilize above the carbon floor. Fine red particles gather near the edges of the loading ramp. Coolant levels scrolling steadily across the wrist command. Metal clasp connects securely underneath the shoulder frame. markers holding within projected range. Outside the habitat, the silent horizon stretches wide. Scattered ridges glowing faintly underneath the morning light. Blueprints forming evenly across the compact mineral dust. Visor reflection shifting slowly with each adjusted step. Thin antenna tower standing near the transport landing zone. Small navigation beacons blinking through the distant stone. Gravity pressure settling lightly through the suit control. Measured breathing patterns moving with the walking pulse. Surface walk, measured pace. Red horizon, open space. Helmet lights across the sand. Map directions guide the path. Surface walk, pressure clear. Signal markers drawing near. Every footprint leaves a line across the silent iron plains. Layered rock formations rise beside the narrow transit route. Temperature reading shifting softly on the visor view. Sample drills connected tightly near the reinforced carrier frame. Dust particles circulating briefly through the filtered vents. Distance goals extending further toward the outer ridge. Thin solar reflections moving slowly across the metal grid. Each measured step aligning with the projected surface chart. Transport tracks remaining visible near the landing mark. One more sector comes in view. Navigation markers passing through. Surface walk, measured pace. Red horizon, open space. Helmet lights across the sand. Map directions guide the path. Surface walk, pressure clear. Signal markers drawing near. Every footprint leaves a line across the silent iron plains. Compressed airflow cycles evenly beneath the armored suit. Surface scanners tracing patterns through the open mineral dunes. Small magnetic instruments blinking softly near the glove. Measured routes extending further past the elevated rocks. Silent valley spreading outward underneath the copper haze. Transit signals organizing through repeating measured waves. Each connected marker stabilizing on the central display. Projected return coordinates holding their place. Surface walk, measured pace. Red horizon, open space. Helmet lights across the sand. Map directions guide the path. Surface walk, pressure clear. Signal markers drawing near. Every footprint leaves a Soil settles softly in the shallow planting trays. Water measurements marked carefully beside the storage gauge. Small cut seed sections resting underneath the warming lamps. Temperature indicators glowing through the habitat glass. Moisture levels shifting slowly near the insulated frame. Plastic covering folded tightly at the edge of the metal bed. Fine brown particles gathering underneath the filtered light. Daily growth projections updating through the station feed. Nutrient packets stacked evenly beside the chamber wall. Thin irrigation tubing running through the narrow soil rows. Condensation forming lightly on the transparent surface sheets. Air circulation moving quietly across the growing space. Measured hand movements tracing through the repeated tasks. Time intervals recorded on the graphite maintenance chart. Water cycles through the valves beneath the pressure line. Small green stems emerging near the marked fertilizer strips. Storage barrels standing quietly near the reinforced racks. Lamp reflections moving slowly on the silver container frames. Carbon filters humming softly through the lower chamber vents. Measured temperature ranges holding through the station night. Repeated planting patterns filling every available space. Updated harvest estimates forming on the monitor screen. Soil compression levels balancing across the growing beds. Thin blue labels attached carefully beside the number trays. Sealed containers waiting near the nutrient mixing tanks. Surface moisture settling evenly through the prepared rows. Glove prints fading lightly from the transparent plastic sheets. Daily process markers extending on the operational chart. Small root system spreading underneath the mineral layer. Water droplets sliding slowly through the connected tubing lines. Temperature cycle stabilizing across the active growing zone. Light reflections organizing through repeating measured waves outside. The silent dunes continue past the pressure glass. Inside the habitat every process holds its place. Calculated harvest intervals shifting on the central display. New operational days extending through the central display. Warm light fills the chamber walls. Graphite marks continue on. Quiet systems hold the range across the measured planting rows. transmission fragments forming on the monitor grid. Long range antenna shadow catching through the copper planes. Waveform measurements balancing on the receiver scale. Thermal circuits humming softly underneath the control desk. Then reflected sunlight moving slowly through the chamber glass. Map communication routes extending past the outer dunes. Response intervals repeating on the active timeline chart. Carrier pulses stabilize. Return patterns organize. Signal sent, channel bright. White lines crossing through the haze. Open ridges, glowing red. Response patterns moving ahead. Signal sent, pathway live. Transmission routes align. Wide horizon signals clear. Connection routes appear. Signal traces expanding through the outer satellite range. Measure response pattern shifting on the navigation frame. Receiver lights reflecting softly through the chamber glass. Long transmission pathways stretching past the distant planes. Carrier frequencies balancing through repeating measure waves. Structures synchronizing underneath the orbital map. Outside the silent terrain extends beneath the copper haze. Inside the station, every active channel holds a signal sent, channel bright. White lines crossing through the haze. Open ridges, glowing red. Response patterns moving ahead. Signal sent, pathway live. Transmission routes align. Wide horizon signals clear. Connection routes appear. Monitor lights across the room. Additional channels bloom. Long range markers turning green across the communication screen. Receiver ports remain online. Waveform pulse stabilize. Quiet channels drifting far toward the distant driving lanes. Wide tire tracks extending through the open mineral plains. Navigation arrows glowing on the lower dashboard screen. Distance counters rising slowly near the steering controls. Solar reflections sliding softly across the forward glass. Storage containers fastened tightly underneath the rear support frame. Fine red dust lifting lightly behind the moving wheels. Fuel reserve indicators holding near the projected range. Long horizon lines expanding past the copper dunes. Suspension system shifting through the uneven surface roads. Small route markers passing near the outer canyon walls. Temperature readings balancing on the central monitor panel. Thin antenna shadows stretching through the drifting haze. Measure steering movements tracing through the curved terrain. Pressure seals holding quietly through the transit flow. Wheel rotations echo softly through the insulated cabin floor. Map coordinates organizing on the active navigation grid. pathways opening underneath the copper light. Dust patterns forming briefly through the trailing motion lines. Backup fuel canisters resting near the secured equipment racks. Measured route adjustment stabilizing on the monitor screen. Low gravity movement settling through the transport frame. Far transmission towers glowing faintly near the horizon line. Long drive, open lanes, red terrain beneath the haze. Wide reflections crossing far. Navigation signals guide the route. Long drive, moving clear, distant markers drawing near. Every measured pathway bends toward the outer station lines. Wide surface routes extending through repeating canyon waves. Dust trails stretching softly underneath the warm reflected sunlight. Measured engine patterns humming through the active transport frame. Carrier structures balancing on the mineral roads ahead. Outside the silent plains continue far beyond the glass. Inside the cabin, every system holds its range. Long distance pathways shifting underneath the copper sky. Projected destination markers stabilize. Dashboard lights remain online. Distance figures slowly climb. Quiet engine pulses flow toward the distant repair zone. Small circuit modules resting near the illuminated repair desk. Thin connection wires crossing underneath the open panel frame. Signal calibration numbers shifting on the monitor display. Precision tools aligned carefully beside the carbon tray. Surface scratches visible near the outer receiver plate. Low electric pulses moving through the active solder lines. Replacement switches organized near the insulated storage case. Soft blue indicator lights reflecting through the chamber glass. One more contact comes in line. One more pathway redefined. Patch and fix, steady hands, signal routes reconnect again. Thin blue currents running clear. Active channels reappear. Patch and fix, measure flow. Circuit patterns start to glow. Every link's connection bends toward the synchronized lines. Thermal interface layers settling underneath the wiring grid. Micro relay structures balancing across the open frame. Pressure sealed connectors locking near the transfer ports. Small magnetic drivers humming through the lower cabinet walls. Reflected sunlight moving softly on the silver module case. Repair markers organizing on the operational charts. Backup communication circuits warming through the active board. Measured voltage pathway stabilizing line by line. Carrier patterns synchronize. System markers organize. Patch and fix, steady hands, signal routes reconnect again. Thin blue currents running clear. Active channels reappear. Patch and fix, measure flow. synchronized lines. Open panel lights extending through the quiet repair zone. Measured signal pathways shifting on the navigation screen. Small electric reflections moving underneath transparent shields. Precision driver tools arranged beside the wiring trays. Outside, the distant terrain stretches beneath the copper haze. Inside the chamber, every active sequence stays aligned. Calculated repair intervals updating on the monitor frame. Stabilized communication routes remain online. Patch and fix, steady hands, signal routes reconnect again. Thin blue currents running clear, active channels reappear. Patch and fix, measured flow, circuit patterns start to glow. And every linked connection bends for the synchronized lines. Repair signals turning green across the active monitor screen. Long transmission pathways hold beyond the distant copper roads. Blue indicators softly gleam. Repair logs update the screen. Quiet voltage pulses run toward the launch alignment zone. Signal alert. Green lines running side by side. Visor clear, horizon wide. New coordinates align. Cabin air circulates through narrow silver vents beside the wall. Status panels flicker softly underneath the morning protocol. Oxygen numbers hold their place across the tempered glass display. Battery percentages remain within projected operating range. Dust settles lightly near the edges of the insulated metal floor. Thermal blankets folded neatly by the reinforced storage door. Outside the habitat, the silent plains extend beyond the frame. Scattered iron formations glowing softly copper gray. Helmet seals connect in sequence with the measured locking tone. Gloves arranged beside the console near the docking zone. Checklist covering the surface marked in careful graphite lines. Antenna angles set precisely toward the orbital design. Water tanks remain secured beneath the reinforced storage rack. Mapped coordinates blinking steadily across the navigation track. One clear route across the screen. One more cycle ready to begin. Saw one signal alive. Green lines running side by side. Visor clear, horizon wide. New coordinates align. Saw one steady control. Numbers moving row by row. Airlock opens on the cue. Every reading coming through. Compressed air releases slowly through the narrow chamber seal. Fine red particles drifting underneath the carbon wheel. Distance marker standing evenly near the outer loading bay. Solar panels angled carefully to gather light across the plane. Storage cases resting quietly by the reinforced chamber wall. Thin blue cables crossing softly underneath the pulses travel briefly through the headset near the ear. Navigation arrows organize across the visor interface. Surface pressure holding stable while the outer engines cool. Transit paths extending further past the ridge beyond the dune. Storage counts adjusted upward on the central monitor screen. New projected operating days inserted into the system feed. Coordinates updating, repeating sets of moving decimal streams. Calibration markers shifting slowly through the overhead machine. Oxygen filter cycle evenly beneath the chamber light. Sealed containers resting quietly in parallel silver lines. Outside the dust continues tracing patterns through the open land. Inside the cabin every process answers back on command. Measured sequences synchronize across the active console frame. Each solved variable extending operational range. Projected usage estimates shifting on the monitor design. Sealed containers labeled clearly near the center loading rack. Water levels marked precisely on the transparent measurement glass. Small repair components organized inside divided metal trays. One more entry on the page, another cycle set in place. Count the days, mark the line, numbers stacking over time. Every column running clean, steady patterns on the screen. Count the days, check the flow, resources shifting in control. Every figure holds its place, mapped across the stored space. Vacuum packets resting evenly in temperature control drawers. Oxygen reserve calculations scrolling softly near the floor. Thin red markers crossing slowly through the printed timeline chart. Backup circuit standing ready near the emergency compartment lock. Inventory sheets connected underneath transparent plastic clips. Sample codes repeating quietly across the reading shifting slowly through the active monitor frame. Storage estimates balancing against the projected energy gain. Sealed nutrition packets stacked in parallel, silver lines, maintenance records organized underneath the docking signs. Calculated intervals extending through the upcoming operational phase. Map sequences connecting in repeating measured waves. Outside the silent plains remain beyond the pressure glass. Inside the station, every process holds its task. Count the days, mark the line, numbers stacking over time. Every column running clean, steady patterns on the screen. Count the days, check the flow, resources shifting in control. Every figure holds its place, mapped across the storage space. Projected routes begin to grow, additional operating zones. Calendar sections filling fast, another measured cycle past. Graphite lines across the page, inventory lights remain. Additional entries waiting ahead, quiet systems softly hum. Pressure seals engage softly through the outer chamber door. Helmet display indicators stabilize above the carbon floor. Fine red particles gather near the edges of the loading ramp. Coolant levels scrolling steadily across the wrist command. Metal class connects securely underneath the shoulder frame. Oxygen intake numbers holding within projected range. Outside the habitat, the silent horizon stretches wide. Scattered ridges glowing faintly underneath the morning light. Blueprints forming evenly across the compact mineral dust. Visor reflection shifting slowly with each adjusted step. Thin antenna tower standing near the transport landing zone. Small navigation beacons blinking through the distant stone. Gravity pressure settling lightly through the suit control. Measured breathing patterns moving with the walking pulse. Surface walk, measured pace. Red horizon, open space. Helmet lights across the sand. Map directions guide the path. Surface walk, pressure clear. Signal markers drawing near. Every footprint leaves a line across the silent iron plains. Layered rock formations rise beside the narrow transit route. Temperature reading shifting softly on the visor view. Sample drills connected tightly near the reinforced carrier frame. Dust particles circulating briefly through the filtered vents. Distance poles extending further toward the outer ridge. Thin solar reflections moving slowly across the metal grid. Each measured step aligning with the projected surface chart. seat sections resting underneath the warming lamps. Temperature indicators glowing through the habitat glass. Moisture levels shifting slowly near the insulated frame. Plastic covering folded tightly at the edge of the metal bed. Fine brown particles gathering underneath the filtered light. Daily growth projections updating through the station feed. Nutrient packets stacked evenly beside the chamber wall. Thin irrigation tubing running through the narrow soil rows. Condensation forming lightly on the transparent surface sheets. Air circulation moving quietly across the growing space. Measured hand movements tracing through the repeated tasks. Time intervals recorded on the graphite maintenance chart. Water cycles through the valves beneath the pressure line. Small green stems emerging near the marked fertilizer strips. Storage barrels standing quietly near the reinforced racks. Lamp reflections moving slowly on the silver container frames. Carbon filters humming softly through the lower chamber vents. Measured temperature ranges holding through the station night. Repeated planning patterns filling every available space. Updated harvest estimates forming on the monitor screen. Soil compression levels balancing across the growing beds. Thin blue labels attached carefully beside the number trays. Sealed containers waiting near the nutrient mixing tank surface. Moisture settling evenly through the prepared rows. Glove prints fading lightly from the transparent plastic sheets. Daily process markers extending on the operational chart. Small root systems spreading underneath the mineral layer. Water droplets sliding slowly through the connected tubing lines. Temperature cycles stabilizing across the active growing zone. Light reflections organizing through repeating measured waves outside. The silent dunes continue past the pressure glass inside the habitat. Every process holds its place. Calculated harvesting turbine shifting on the central display. No operational days extending through the central display. More light fills the chamber walls. Graphite marks continue on. Quiet systems hold the range across the measured planting rows. Signals sent, channel bright. White lines crossing through the haze. Open ridges, glowing red. Response patterns moving ahead. channel holds. Signal sent, channel bright, white lines crossing through the haze. Open ridges, glowing red, response patterns moving ahead. Signal sent, pathway live, transmission routes align. Wide horizon, signals clear, connection routes appear. Monitor lights across the room, additional channels bloom. Long range markers turning green across the communication screen. Receive reports relaying online, waveform pulses stabilize. Quiet channels drifting far toward the distant driving lanes. Wide tire tracks extending through the open mineral plains. Navigation arrows glowing on the lower dashboard screen. Distance counters rising slowly near the steering control. Solar reflections sliding softly across the forward glass. Storage containers fastened tightly underneath the rear support frame. Fine red dust lifting lightly behind the moving wheels. Fuel reserve indicators holding near the projected range. Long horizon lines expanding past the copper dunes. Suspension system shifting through the uneven surface roads. Small route markers passing near the outer canyon walls. Temperature readings balancing on the central monitor panel. Thin antenna shadows stretching through the drifting haze. Measured steering movements tracing through the curved terrain. Precious seals holding quietly through the transit flow. Wheel rotations echo softly through the insulated cabin floor. Mapped coordinates organizing on the active navigation grid. Sunlight reflections moving slowly across the carrier frame. Distance poles appearing briefly near the elevated ridges. Compressed airflow circulating underneath the reinforced vents. Surface pathways extending past the outer crater fields. Small transmission lights blinking near the Small circuit modules resting near the illuminated repair desk. Thin connection wires crossing underneath the open panel frame. Signal calibration numbers shifting on the monitor display. Precision tools aligned carefully beside the carbon tray. Surface scratches visible near the outer receiver plate. Low electric pulses moving through the active solder lines. Replacement switches organized near the insulated storage case. Soft blue indicator lights reflecting through the chamber glass. One more contact comes in line. One more pathway redefined. Patch and fix, steady hands. Signal routes reconnect again. Thin blue currents running clear. Active channels reappear. Patch and fix, measure flow. Circuit patterns start to glow. Every link's connection bends toward the synchronized lines. Thermal interface layers settling underneath the wiring grid. Micro relay structures balancing across the open frame. Pressure sealed connectors locking near the transfer ports. Small magnetic drivers humming through the lower cabinet walls. Reflected sunlight moving softly on the silver module case. Repair markers organizing on the operational chart. Backup communication circuits warming through the active board. Measured voltage pathway stabilizing line by line. Carrier patterns synchronized. System markers organized. Patch and fix, steady hands. Signal routes reconnect again. Thin blue currents running clear. Active channels reappear. Patch and fix, measure flow. Circuit patterns start to glow. Every linked connection bends toward the synchronized lines. Open panel lights extending through the quiet repair zone. Measured signal pathway shifting on the navigation screen. Small electric reflections moving